Episode of our 2019 series of LIBERO TV. And if you haven't already, please sign in to the YouTube if you can. If you're having any trouble putting a comment, just call our main phone number on 0733563631. So today we have Selena on the online help chat. So if you have any comments or questions, please put them through. So in this episode, we're going to show you ways to keep your members interested in your collection. So if you have any tips from your experience to share along the way, please feel free to comment in the chat or on our Exchange Help Centre in the forums. So some of the things we'll be covering today include how to email members new items that match their interest profiles, how to set up templates and best structure areas of interest, see how to activate the latest development, which is still in progress for an even more advanced feature, but I'll show you where it currently is at, and you can send the notices automatically on a schedule. And we'll also learn how to report on usage and monitor uptake of the notifications. Just before we start, I just point out that some of these things require the configuration dashboard, so you probably need to be an administrator account to do most of these things. So first of all, we'll have a look at these notifications. The technical term for these notifications is the SDI notifications, which is the Selective Dissemination of Information System. But you can basically call them new title notifications or whatever works best for you at your library. So with this one here, they can be set up with a variety of criteria. They can be set up subject, series, author, corporate author, words contained in titles, words contained in the volume or title reference, and they can also have a year range. So with these ones here, first of all, the most important thing that's required is that you will need to have the members' miscellaneous parameters to enable this to work. So this is the parameter that actually enables the function on your system. And it's also required that you have this on your license. So if for any reason you're having any problems with that, feel free to contact us in LIBERO support. So now, with this other thing, you'll need to also ensure that your mail server details are up to date. And so these are just our basic ones here, but which you'll probably share with your email notifications, but that will need to be correctly enabled to allow these notifications. The other thing which is important to ensure that you have is the user will need to have an email address in the user profile. So you'll need to ensure that for the particular user that may be sending these ones here, there will need to be an email in that field, and this page is user profile AD52. So that's an important thing for these notifications. So, Selena, do we have any comments on the chat as yet?
No comments yet.
Okay. Anything you'd like to add about the setup?
No, that covers. Once that's done, it's pretty easy to keep going.
Okay, excellent. Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll look at the area where these functions live on the dashboard side. So that is in the main dashboard, and then you'll go to members and then tools, and you'll find these two options here. So there's the SDI mailer and the SDI templates. So those templates can be set here, and the mailer is where the messages can be sent from the dashboard, or they can be scheduled from there. So I'll just give you a bit of a quick look here. The online help has the details about how to set up templates, but I'll just show you some of the pre-existing ones that Selena has made for training purposes. So with these ones here, here's some examples. So these ones here have these GMD codes, these collection codes, and also these subjects. So these ones here go against your authorities in your new items. And you can also have here, if you wanted particular titles, say for example there was a particular series or there was a particular I don't know, magazine or anything that was an area of interest. So as you can see here, you can have quite a wide range of these. You can also limit it, as you can see there, in a year range. So these are all the options there from the dashboard side. And you can also do options from the WebOpack side, which I'll show you in a moment. But first of all, we'll have a quick look at the SDI mailer. So this one here has the different areas. So here is the name of our email subject and some of the settings here. This here has some mailer selections that existed. This is where the new items list would normally be. Because I've run a schedule and the schedule sent the emails earlier this morning, that has been deleted. So what I will do is I'll show you just here the different options. So currently the options here allow you to firstly delete this new material list, and it also allows you to schedule. So the important things to note is that you can send them here on any of these days, but you can only have one consistent start time. So you can't necessarily have a different time at the moment for the different days. If you wanted to clear that, you would clear it similar to the other scheduled tasks, where you would just clear that there with the clear process, and then you would set a new time. So if you decided to do it manually, you would be doing this by letting it run and then sending it with the generating the mailer selections and then generating the mail. But if you were scheduling them, they would do those tasks and send them. At this stage, and this is an important point, the mailer selections would remain to allow you to review what had gone out, but there is a new development that will give you an option to delete those as well, so the entire process will be completely automated at that point. So just a quick note over here, the SDI profiles is in the workflow toolbar and the profile search as well. So these ones here are some profile codes, and that one there is a custom one that's been made in the OPAC. So I'll just move on now to the OPAC tab, and I've logged in here, and if I go into my member services, because this is enabled on this database, you can see there that I have had notices sent on these different dates, and also I can manage my new title notifications just on the side here. So you can see here that these are the standard notification profiles, and at the moment I've decided that I'm interested in the crime and mystery, I'm interested in the DVD and history. I might also decide that I'm interested in biographies. So I would go there and now I've added that there. This one here is a custom profile that I've made. So this is similar to those other ones where I've basically said I'm interested in large print fiction, I'm interested in these publication years, I'm interested in all material types, interested in just the large print collections, and I'm not really concerned about the subjects or series. I'm mostly just interested in large print that is coming into the library. So this means if there's not an existing profile, I can make one to suit my specific needs and interests. So what we might do now is we'll just bring up an email that'll show us an example of how one of these will look. Okay, so there's an example of an email that was sent earlier today, and whether you use the scheduled process or whether you use the manual process, those are the kind of emails that will generate. And if I was to click onto any of those links, that would go straight to the OPAC where I could reserve the items that I was interested in. So, for example, these ones here are currently scheduled to send at 11 o'clock. So that's why it was sent to me and also other members at 11 o'clock in our test database. So, how's the chat line going?
We have a couple of questions coming from Richmond. What date will the delete new material delete from the schedule?
In the schedule?
Yeah.
What that will do, I believe the current functionality on that is to delete the existing new material in the table.
Yeah, so it'll keep it, it'll clear it so it's completely empty.
Yeah.
When everything populate.
Yeah.
And technically be those new titles that are coming after the last.
That's right. So usually you probably wouldn't send these messages every day. I think from what I've seen, most libraries do it about once a week or maybe sort of around that. So they'll get a decent amount of new material, but it won't be clearing up and just sending small emails all the time.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. Thank you very much.
And there's also another quick question. Does it delete before or after the mail out? Yeah, but you have to delete after.
I believe, I think in the actual process it will send it, and then the delete new material is the last step at the moment from the ticket. So I think the additional step will be to also potentially delete the mailer selections if you want to. So you may want to keep that so you can review it. And at the moment it is kept. So at the moment it is highly recommended before the next scheduled time to go in, review that, and then clear that as well before you send the next one.
Yeah.
And the new material would delete them as the last step.
I also like the use of those little emojis.
Oh, yes.
The subject headings.
Yes.
In their inbox, hopefully.
Yeah. No, I think that works really well, and it makes it sort of distinctive to the actual email. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so those are pretty much the main areas there of the SDI. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions for how you'd like it to work or the formatting of the emails or anything in that direction, I know we'd be very interested in hearing that in the feature requests. Very interested. So what we might do now is, I'll just mention one more thing. The scheduled task in its current format will only work in one namespace. So just keep that in mind if you want to test. It will only actually work in one namespace at a time. So the task can only exist there. That's just something in case you have a libtest namespace as well. Okay, so the other thing is we have some reports that I'll just quickly demonstrate for you. So these are reports that Selena has made, and they're going to be available, or I believe they already are available on the LIBERO exchange. So there's an article there already, and people can go and download them, and they're very useful for seeing the uptake, very useful in tracking the use of these different functions. So these ones here have been loaded into our user reports. Just wait for that to load. And these particular ones here are in our members area, but you can have them wherever you like. You can call them whatever you like, whatever suits you. And if I run this first one, this one here allows me to put a date range of seeing the kind of emails that have been sent. I'm going to put a fairly broad one just to demonstrate, but we can see there that in this time period, from the 1st of March 2018 to the 7th of March 2019, these are the categories, these are the total number of messages that have been sent. If I move on to here, here's some actual more detail, so you can actually track what's gone out, which is useful just for knowing what has actually been sent as a record. So that's the first report. The second one is the SDI mailer contents. So I'll go on to that one now, and that has the details about just the type of things that have been sent out. So if you look here, there's a useful chart which tells you that the majority of the titles have been books, some DVDs, and here's some information on locality. There's some information on category. Obviously this is a small sample size, so you would normally have more than this, but that does let you know that you can have all of them on display. And here is some actual detail about what was actually sent out. So that's also very useful. You can see there on the whole list there, so you can actually see exactly what's been sent out. So I'll just show you the next report, and this is the SDI personal profiles. And so this one here allows you to see the number of members with a personal SDI profile. And so at the moment, this is only our test database, so just Selena and I have one on this particular one here, but you would be able to see a full list of all of your members that have those created. So that's very good for knowing when the people are going onto the OPAC and actually using it and creating things that they're personally interested in.
Yeah, it's also ideal to check what you've got set up for your home library members, because your personal profiles will be able to transfer across into the home library selection module.
Excellent. Right. So actually that's another very good point, that the SDIs can be used as sort of part of the home library whole functionality. So that could be a whole other episode.
Yeah.
And maybe. But I'll just have a look at the last one, which is the SDI templates. So that one there, that has the number of members with an SDI template, the number of SDI templates selected by member categories. So you might recognize those as the ones we looked at before, the example ones. And here is some details as a graph, and also some more detailed list. So you can actually see in an easy format exactly what is being used and who is using it. So you don't have to individually go through all the member records to get that information. So there we go. Any other things about these reports, Selena?
No, just that particular report is handy when you're initially setting it up, or even reviewing what's happening over time, to make sure that your categories and templates is set up to be the latest subject area of interest. Yeah, there's some things that are not as popular as before. You can always jump in there and remove that and create another category. Science fiction might start jumping up there and beating the top and wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can really sort of see where the trends might be in just in interest of new titles. So that's really good. Okay, so basically I think those are all the main things we're going to cover today. Is there anything more in the chat as yet?
We just have a question about the reports.
Yeah.
Are they available from LIBERO to upload into the system? So, for all of our libraries at the moment, because these are new reports, they will need to be downloaded from our tech centre. So they're sitting there and you can upload them into your report. Yeah,
so they're right in there in the new articles on the LIBERO Exchange. So we'll have a link in the description of the video later on where you can just go straight on, but all of these reports will be available and they're all very useful. So you just download them and put them in your user reports. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all we have time for today. But if there's anything interesting that you're doing with STI profiles or anything that you'd like to do, please let us know through the support, or please put it on the forum and see what other people would like to do, because we would like to make these different notifications as useful as possible. We also would like the scheduling to be as easy as possible. So ideally you'll just be able to set them and let them run, but also have them very useful and with these reports where you can track just how they're going and what's actually being used. So that's really all we have time for today, but we'll have the next episode of LIBERO TV next month. A very exciting topic coming out. So I guess we'll see you then.